founder of the London Voice Boutique. We're a voiceover agency based in Soho, London, and we're going to take you on a little journey behind the scenes with some of our actors so that you can get a taste of what goes on in this world. Think funny stories, advice, and some useful insights on how to navigate this industry. Today I'm happy to welcome two of my top artists, Collette Cooper, actor, singer, songwriter and activist, who's been with me for about 6 years I think, and Anneka Harry, who is a comedy actress and author, who's also been with me about 6 or 7 years as well. Hey girls!
Hi, Steph.
So can you tell me a little bit about how you both got into the industry and voiceover and acting?
After you, Anneka.
Thank
go on.
you. So I trained as an actor. I went to drama school, did 3 years of foolishness.
Yeah, I can see that.
Came out, didn't really work as an actor very much to begin with, let's be honest. Bit of call centering, bit of waitressing, the classics. But actually it was always voice stuff. In hindsight, it was always voice stuff at drama school that I liked the most. So I went into comedy, started doing a few comedy roles. Meanwhile, just kept emailing, badgering agents, as you probably remember, Steph.
Yep.
Don't recommend that to anybody listening that wants a voiceover agent. Try and be more selective. But yeah, eventually found London Voice Boutique, and it was the best fit.
Oh, well, it's
brilliant.
Been great. And what about you, Collette?
Oh, well, I started off at school, bit of acting at school, and I didn't actually train actually. I did A-levels at college, that sort of did like drama and dance and stuff, but then I formed a theatre company. Well, I was a part of a group that formed a theatre company. So I started off doing that.
Yep.
And then I did quite a lot of theatre, that was my background.
Yeah.
And then I started to do quite a lot of TV and films. And before I went into voiceovers, people used to say, you should definitely do voiceovers. And I said, oh, okay. So I thought, I didn't email everyone. I just went straight to...
You did.
I was selective. I knew who I wanted. So I was like, I know which voiceover agent I want. And we got the best, didn't we?
Definitely.
And I love it. I love doing voiceovers.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's a really good point for finding an agent, actually, because I didn't really know anything about it. I just knew I wanted to do it. I was emailing people who already, I just got given a few names, was emailing people who already had somebody like me or similar-ish or full books
no one like you.
or whatever.
There's no one like you, Anneka.
Obviously not.
But do you know what though? When you say that, the trouble is the emails that I get in about, oh, I see you haven't got anyone on my books like me. Sometimes there's a reason there isn't anyone like that person on the books. It can be because that's not a popular style or we don't think we're going to be able to sell it. So it is quite funny when people tell me, oh, you haven't got this on your books, I think I'd be great for you. I kind of go, I know it's awful, but I slightly bristle and go, fuck off. I like the idea that they come to, I think that really, really easy, sort of a very simple email. People who write me an essay, I don't have time, but you know, like a quick headshot, this is what I do. And it's for you, I think, especially with the comedy, when you sort of, with Collette, it was the voice. It's that gravelly voice, and Northern, that was really, really unique. And for you, it was the comedy delivery, and being from the Midlands, for me, that also stood out and was like, oh, I like those things I can sell, that makes you unique. And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
It's timing, isn't it? Timing is everything, and it's dependent on, I guess, what the industry's like at a certain time.
Good point,
all of that stuff as well.
Yeah, good point there.
But it's not always because they don't have it on the books.
Well, also, I was doing voiceover without having an agent. That's something else that you can say.
That's good.
You do need one, really. You have to have somebody in your corner.
Yeah. It's also it's having that, but also understanding what you're worth and how to sell yourself. You know, people come to me and sort of say, oh, I've just, I've got a job. Would you like to represent me? And I'm like, yeah, but, well, I've agreed to this. And you're like, I'm sorry, how low was that fee you've just agreed to? You've just totally undersold yourself. And that I find really frustrating.
Yeah.
So that's why I think agents are so important. So
like,
just
you're right,
make
you
sure
need
that
them in
people
your
get
corner.
that.
Exactly what Anneka said. You do.
So with that in mind, I'd like to know a little bit more about when you go into a voiceover session or you're getting ready for a voiceover session. Do you have any rituals, or is there anything you like to do?
Rituals. La la la. I always like a nice cup of tea.
Do you?
Yeah. It's water, cup of tea, have a nice chat. I think my ritual, I don't know about you, Anneka, but I like to you know, meet the team
Yeah.
first, have a little chat with them. I'm not a fan of go straight into the booth.
Right.
You know, I want to meet them, shake their hand, look them in their eyes, you know, want to know who I'm working with.
That's cool.
And I think that's a little bit of, you know, tea really. That's
Yeah,
what I
it's all
want.
about the tea.
It's all about the tea. I don't do a big long warm. I don't do a boy. I
Such
don't
a
do a
cheap
big.
date.
Yeah, I don't do a big warm up because
No.
I think the minute you get up, and I know you're talkative as well. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you know, you start talking. That's your warm up,
Do
isn't
you have
it?
a couple of fags though before you go in?
I don't smoke anymore. I stopped smoking quite a few years ago.
I used to
now.
tell people, have a cigarette, it will
Yeah.
really help your voice.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like
I don't
the
smoke.
worst person your
Have a
mother
terribly
wants.
late night.
Yeah.
Be
I,
hungover. Be
Just don't
honking.
have a hangover, but
Yeah.
smoke away.
I don't smoke. Yeah,
Oh,
no, I
well,
don't
you
smoke.
sound like
I
you've
sound
got-
like I smoke.
I
Someone
want you
said,
to.
someone said, you sound like you smoke 40 fags a day. I said, well, you sound like you smoke 60. So, you know.
That's your USP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I sell you on now. That's great. What about you?
Before every voiceover, I like to have at least 3 to 4 pints of lager.
Who
Rock and roll.
doesn't?
Yeah. No, I always wear comfortable pants.
Oh.
Has to be done.
As in knickers.
Yeah,
Right,
like, you
okay.
know, up to the boob jobbing.
Yeah, okay.
I couldn't do a recording in a thong.
No.
You've got to be
Is that-
comfy.
Is that a higher pitch that brings out?
Yeah.
I love that.
That's brilliant. Good.
You've got to be comfy.
But you wear thongs as well?
Do you know what? To be honest,
Do you
these
ever wear
days I
thongs?
can't. No, I'm not really feeling it anymore. So yeah, the bigger the pant, the better
Right.
the recording.
I love that.
That's great.
I always go in with a bottle of water, a lip balm,
A lip balm.
Yeah.
That's a good
sometimes a hand cream. You've got to keep slathered up. So
Right.
it's all about the lube.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'll remember that one.
Some handy tips.
Yeah.
And warm up wise, if it's not long form, if it is an advert and you're in and out in town,
Yeah.
I do a little bit. I tend to do it on the tube, you know, like the humming
Oh, the-
scales.
Yeah.
People give you a bit of a wide berth on the Piccadilly line.
Yeah.
but
Get an extra seat.
sometimes I think, oh, I wonder if they think I'm like a pop star.
Well, you look like one.
Thank
You
you.
do. It's amazing. Great. Okay. Well, that's some useful tips. Thank you. Okay. What's the strangest direction you've ever been asked to do or perform in a voiceover booth? Have you had any of those weird sort of like, oh my God, I've got to do this?
You or me?
Go on, go on.
Well, I have actually. I asked someone where the toilet was and they sent me outside, take a right and I had to go to another building. And they thought I asked where the nearest tube was. I was like, I came back and I went, no, that was wrong.
That's hilarious.
I just wanted the toilet.
That's
You're
hilarious.
halfway home.
Yeah. And they were in the building going,
At what point did
where's
you
Collette
realise?
Cooper going? And I thought, that's so weird.
But you haven't been asked
Where's
to do
she
any-
gone? I came back and they were all looking at me like this. Going, oh, are you okay now? I went, well, I just wanted to go to your toilet and they sent me 2 blocks down. I told you that, remember?
But you haven't had to like do any weird performance, as it were.
Well, that was a weird performance, I'd say. And you?
You fucked off to another building. You turned up in
I'm just
another
coming
sound
back for the
studio.
sequel.
Love that. Okay, well, Anneka, have you got anything?
I really like a quirky note, especially when because I do comedy stuff quite
Yeah.
frequently. Usually it's the other way around for me. They're like, can you tone it down a bit?
Really?
Yeah. So when they ask
Not like
me
that
to,
suit.
yeah, it's not really my thing. When they ask me to up the ante or do something crazy, I'm really into it. And I do think actually, if they've not thought about that sort of thing, and you can bring some improvisation in or
Yes.
whatever, then sometimes the results are wicked because they'd not really considered that might happen.
Yeah.
So I think about adverts at the minute that stick in your mind. If you see stuff on the telly, there's like that Just Eat guy that's on constantly, and
Yeah.
I can't imagine he went into a booth with a script that said "Speak like this."
Yeah.
Domino's Pizza.
Well, you'd be surprised at the briefs we get.
Yeah, I can imagine actually
Yeah.
some of them are out there.
Some of them are quite interesting. So that might have been the brief.
Yeah,
that
what
kind
it
of,
would have said.
yeah.
Maybe he talks like that.
Yeah, maybe that is his voice.
Goes around parties like, hello.
Hi, my name is Dan.
Would you like a vol au vent?
Yeah.
I was asked quite recently, oh, that's great, Anneka, can you do that again, but can you do it like a corgi, as in the dog?
You're joking.
The advert did feature a corgi, but I didn't imagine that I'd have to embody one.
That's brilliant. And how, okay, so sorry,
How
but how
did you
did
do that? Come on, I want to hear this corgi. You've got to do it.
I think that in a world of a corgi, it's quite like plump-de plump, plump-de floor.
Yeah.
So I was like, hello, everybody. It didn't make the cut.
The Queen would love you. The Queen would love her.
I know, I love that. Did you get recast or did they use it? I can't...
The advert went out, but they did not make me a corgi in it. I just said what I actually had to say. But it was
What
a
a
bit
strange
of fun.
thing! But what a strange thing to do. I wonder if they were just having a laugh, going,
Let's do
let's
this.
just make it be a corgi.
But you do everything you're told, don't you? So you're like, okay,
Absolutely.
you want a Labrador? Do you want
I've got a whole
Dachshund?
range. I love that. I have to say, I send you into sessions not always knowing the script and not always knowing what you're going to be asked to do.
Yeah.
So actually, I don't hear these stories. You don't necessarily come out and go, oh my fucking God, Steph, I just got asked to be a corgi. Deliver this as a corgi would. I don't get that. So this is lovely. I love it. That's the best part about this job. Is some of the things.
It's true actually, because people think if they don't know the voiceover world, they imagine you've had the script beforehand,
Yeah.
or you've got a good idea of what you're going to do. You haven't got a Scooby half the
No,
time.
you don't. No,
You know
that's
the
very
brand.
true.
Sometimes you don't even know the brand or
No,
the
exactly,
designer.
because so much is NDA'd. I can't tell
Yeah.
you anything. They don't tell me anything. That I find quite difficult, and it's really in the commercial world, because I think anything which is like animation or audiobook or corporate, you get those scripts up front and you
Yeah.
have that time to prep. But commercial, and that's
You just
kind
go
of
in,
why I
there's the
love it.
script,
I
and
do
you've
love
gotta-
it, because it's all a bit like, what the hell am I walking into?
Yeah.
And when people ask me for a script and I can't get it, I'm like, but you'll be fine. Go in, be a corgi.
Yeah, be a corgi.
And if you've only got 2 lines to do in an hour or 20 minutes, however long
Yeah.
it does take you, you don't want to have ran it to death beforehand. It will
No,
take
you want.
away.
Yeah, it takes away the spontaneity of
Yeah.
it, the freshness of it.
Yeah, I think people can really get in their own heads as well. And I've had that when I was doing demos where people have come in and practiced the script too much. And then when I'm trying to direct them, they can't get out of their head. They're like, well, no, that's not how I had it.
You get
So
stuck
it's
in a
quite
pattern,
nice.
don't
Yeah,
you?
Yeah,
it becomes
so
jaded
yeah.
then, and
Yeah.
it's not fresh.
I had that actually in the lockdowns when we were doing a lot of stuff over Zoom, and I remember,
Yeah.
Steph, you sent me an advert and they wanted an example script.
Yeah.
And usually I pride myself, let's say that, I'm quite proud of the fact that I take direction well. If not, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
Yeah.
good.
But somehow, maybe because I've been in my house for a year and a half, every time you said to me, do it again but like this, I think I just sent you the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are some times, and I think it is when you have that prep time, you have too long to think about it.
Yeah. But I really, these whole tapes where they ask you to do a test, I have to be honest, I really find it very difficult for you guys to preempt what is expected of you. And then I have to try and preempt what is expected. And this is why it has changed the whole way of doing auditions for commercial work specifically, where, it used to be that they'd pay you to go into a booth, but those budgets have gone.
Yeah.
So everyone has to do it on their little phones, and they're trying to second guess what somebody else is thinking that's sitting in an office at the other side of London. And it is really difficult. So I do always feel a bit, like I send them going, well, I think this is what you're after, but let us know, because it is really hard to judge.
Yeah.
It is, and you self-directing, it's impossible.
I hate doing it on the phone
I
and sending
know.
it out. It's rubbish doing
It
that.
isn't fun. No, I get that. Okay, so my next question would be, who would you most like to share a booth with?
Annika.
You know what? I was thinking, why don't we have a podcast?
Yeah, Annika, she's brilliant.
Oh, do you know what? Oh,
I'd just
fuck
be
off.
laughing all the time. We wouldn't get any work done. We'd just be there being corgis.
Tell you what, as a producer, I would not want you two in a fucking booth.
Let's just be corgis, come on. Let's get the beer out, be corgis.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay, apart from each other, is there anyone else?
I'd probably say Ricky Gervais. Something
Oh,
like
wow.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
I think Ricky
really?
Gervais. I'd like to be in a booth with him.
What? Anything specific? Wouldn't it get political? I love it.
I-
Don't get me wrong.
I wouldn't care. I just love to be in a booth. It would be hilarious.
Yeah.
You'd have a laugh, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd have a riot.
You'd have a riot.
You'd
love
start
it.
a riot.
We'd start a riot. Other than Annika, it'd be definitely. It's my second choice.
Yeah. No, I like
Second
that.
choice after Colette.
Beautifully
I'm
done.
going to say Miriam Margolyes.
Oh.
Yeah.
What fun.
And obviously, in recent years, she's established in herself as like the legend and the national treasure. But
Yeah.
she's such a good voice actor, and I
Yes.
think that's overlooked. And she's done so much good stuff over
Yeah.
the years, so
Okay.
versatile.
Yeah.
I saw her in conversation about her new book recently, and she was saying like she's got so many accents. She's actually got them as well. It's not just like when it's on your spotlight that you can't do it.
Yeah. Hush now, Anneka, hush. Surely people don't lie on their spotlight.
Italian, French, Welsh, Irish, Scottish.
The other day I was just desperately trying to find the asterisks again, what was authentically their accent. I was like, fucking
It's
hell.
also like skills, puppetry, yeah.
Flying a plane, yeah.
I just don't make me laugh.
But Miriam's done, like, back in the day, she was the voice of, do you remember when the PG Tips did the Chimps?
Yeah.
She was one of the...
what was she?
She's one of the Dolmio, I think the mum or the grandma in that.
Wow.
She's like sexy voice of the Cadbury bunny for caramel.
Oh,
was she?
And then stuff like anusol piles cream. So the
everything.
versatility.
Brilliant, I love that. Piles one day, Cadbury's the next.
Yeah.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing.
Yeah,
I love
that's
it.
good.
She's just got the confidence, I think, as well. And in voice stuff, it's important, like, just to try something new sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, I think I love her. I'm with you.
I'll have to listen to those adverts and then I'll have to go and watch them.
Yeah, look on their website. I think she leads with anusol as the first one.
I'm going to have to look at that.
Okay, so you've done your voiceover. You've shared it with each other, right? It's 5 o'clock Friday night, and you've just finished your voiceover session, potentially with each other.
Yeah.
What are you going to do in Soho? And I am calling it Soho because we're based in Soho.
Yeah.
For me, it's still the centre of
earth.
everything.
It is. Most of our voiceovers are in Soho, you know.
I think I've lived here. I've worked here too long.
We love Soho. Well, there's so much to do in Soho.
That's
right?
it. You know that,
I mean,
not a rhyme, is it an acronym where they going for dinner with Billy Piper, all of the street names in central Soho. So going Greek, Frith, Dean, Wardour, B, what's B?
Oh,
Berwick.
Berwick.
And Poland Street.
Poland Street, that's
Wow.
right.
So,
I
have a
love
pint
that.
on every road.
That's brilliant. We love that. Well,
brilliant.
what would you do? I mean, we could, I'd probably go to, I'd nip into all the clubs from Dean Street to Black's to
Love.
Groucho to the Quo Vadis to...
And know someone in every one, obviously.
Yeah, we
correct?
know everyone, St Barnabas, we'd go in all those places and then maybe get a rickshaw.
Spend all your wages that you just made on the rickshaw around the corner.
I always say rickshaw, it's a rickshaw. I can never say it.
I thought that's how you call them in Manchester.
Find out, let's get a rickshaw. Probably do.
It's the cobbles.
Let's get a rickshaw. Go and have some nice food. Go for a pizza, nice wine.
Yeah.
As you know, you can never get out of Soho, that's the thing.
it.
You're not home till,
You
3
see
o'clock in the morning?
everybody you know.
Everyone you know.
World's your oyster.
Yeah.
Literally, if you go seafood bar on Dean Street.
Exactly, good. Oh, that was very good, that. I like that. Oh, it's gorgeous, yeah. Love it. Go on, what would you do?
Yeah, I do tend to I'm a bit of a homing pigeon to Dean Street. I think when I first came to London, I was like 16, I was doing the National Youth Theatre and I did something there. Then I did my showcase there for drama school. Then I think when I moved to London, it was the only street I knew.
Yeah.
So I was just there.
Yeah.
It's great,
You know.
Dean Street. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great. You're right. It's the best.
And everybody's there, like your richer, more famous friends are there, and they'll bring you into that one. You go to,
Yeah.
You can't be sad on Dean Street.
No, and there's the great restaurant, the Italian restaurant, 54, 44,
Do you want to do a voiceover for them?
55, 50, 40. Thank you.
40.
Thank you, producer Mike.
40 Dean Street.
40 Dean Street. Do you like 40? It's an Italian restaurant.
Oh, nice. No.
And
I
it's
don't think
really
I get
reasonably.
past Dean Street Townhouse, so
Oh,
I get
no, but it's
sort of
reasonably priced. It's really good and
really?
it's authentic. It's got a real great vibe. It's across the street from Black's, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
40 Dean Street. It's just called 40 Dean Street. Love
fantastic.
that place. And the French House, of course, is great.
Obviously,
French
classic.
House.
You've got to treat yourself some way after a
You've
voiceover
got
there.
to. You've got to do,
Yeah. You
I'm
feel
more-
good.
You spend it all, don't you? You get
Yeah,
a
literally.
voiceover. One night you spend all that money
And I'm
in
like,
Soho.
don't forget to put your money aside for tax. You're like, what? I can't hear you.
What tax? It's all in the Groucho. What are you talking about?
Oh, I love Groucho.
Yeah.
So that was everything I had to cover. Have you got anything that you wanted to ask as a voiceover artist or advice that you would give anyone going into the
advice.
industry?
That's a good one. Advice.
I think if you're looking to get into it, just really know your own voice. That's another thing I don't think I really ever thought about. I was just like, I could do this. But, you know, what is your voice like? What could you sell? I'm more likely to do like Lidl or Aldi than M&S. Call me Lidl or Aldi, please.
No, exactly. I know
Available for.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you're right. It's what your voice suits which brands, and I think you think of like Lidl, Aldi as being more down to earth. You're very down to earth. I'm very down to earth. You know, we're not going to go in and sell Harrods, are we? You know, we probably wouldn't do a Harrods. Yeah.
And yet you
Unless Harrods wants to get a little bit down to earth, like we are, you know, if they want to get a bit down to earth like we are, come down to our level, we could do Harrods. But you're absolutely right. It's knowing your voice, knowing what you're good at selling. But you know, you're versatile. I can see you're versatile. So being, you know, versatile is like a middle ground. You know, all the sort of like down to earth brands where most people can relate to in the real world, and then going to kind of a middle brand, again, it's relatable. And there's some things that we are not going to find relatable as us, as humans, so then that's always hard to sell. If you don't believe in a brand,
absolutely,
how can you sell it as well?
I think that's fair. And I think the other misconception is with like knowing your voice, that's a really good point, is not trying to be everything. I think people think, oh, I'm going to go into voiceover, send me a reel with everything that they can think of, and I'm like, who the fuck am I listening to? I don't know what this is. And actually more and more people want the natural voice and and find people from their actual authentic areas or whatever. So actually sending me one where you start off sounding like a chimpanzee followed by, oh, I'm a fairy and I'm doing this, and that's very, very difficult to decipher. Some people can do that brilliantly, but it's okay to just be good at who you are. And I think people don't realise that. I think sometimes it's like your voice, Collette, is who you are. And I'm not going to try and make you something else.
But I sound like a gay man. I do. Every time I used to phone my Auntie Pat, by the way, she was I said, hey Auntie Pat, how are you doing? You're really good. Always leave voice messages, because she never answered the phone. Eventually gets hold of her. Hi Auntie Pat, I've left you loads of voice messages. No, you haven't. I said, yes, I have. No, just some gay man's been leaving me. I said, no, Auntie Pat, that's your niece. That's your niece. So I know what my voice is like.
Yeah, you're a gay man.
Yeah.
I actually, an ex-girlfriend once described my voice as a cartoon character stuck inside a jam jar. I was like, I can't be mad at that. It's kind of right.
Brilliant. That's actually
I
brilliant.
think we're going to change your bios, by the way, girls.
That's brilliant.
We'll just get exes to describe or family members to describe our thing. I think that's how I'm going to move forward. I love that. At what point did that come up in your relationship? At the end?
Notice I said
At the end. So next. That was it. Over. Get out.
Trapped. Love it. That's hilarious. Well, thank you. I think...
and also the advice to give voice actors some advice I think is really important when they're in there, because some people get really nervous. I've got a friend who does voiceovers. At the beginning she was so nervous. Did you get nervous at the beginning?
I think you just don't know what to expect, do you? So there is that trepidation.
It's just like it's unfamiliar ground. You're not quite sure what you want. And I think I found what was really good was most of the time the directors and producers, they're not quite 100% sure what they're looking for. So they want you to have that input. So I found it really helpful if you offer them, say, look, do you want me to try and maybe, should I put a pause there? Do you want me to slow it down? Kind of give them some ideas. Because they go, all right, okay, yeah. So I think don't be afraid of, without being pushy, because let them direct you, but don't be afraid of suggesting things, because a lot of the time they're not sure what they're looking for yet.
So I think that's a point to remember that they're willing you to do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
They chose your voice out of all those millions of voices, and I always feel really lucky to go in and know that.
Exactly.
And then make friends with the technician.
Always.
Because also it helps everybody to get the best out of the session. If there's a little tweak you need, I'm half deaf. If I need the cans,
I'm a bit deaf.
Oh yeah, well we're gonna have a deaf podcast.
What's that? Say that again. I didn't say again. What?
Am I on good side or your bad side?
I'm learning so much about you both all of a sudden.
I'm a little bit deaf in this ear, a little bit deaf.
I got no hearing in this ear.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, me and you should be doing this. Shouldn't we? Because oh God, yeah.
sort of
So,
key information that you need to
Can
share?
you put the volume up on my cans, please?
Yeah, no, but actually that's really valid. I think the only thing that I would say that I used to find as a producer, ex-producer, the one thing that used to drive me insane is if you've had a really intense session with the client, right? And the client finally goes, yep, nailed it, loved it. Everyone goes, yep, great. And the voice artist goes, I think I can do better. Fuck off.
Go now. Go to Dean Street.
Never open that can of worms.
Oh, really?
Because the client will go, oh. And you're like,
I have done that though.
Right,
Because I've got perfectionists. I've gone sometimes. Are you sure? I think I
No,
could do that better.
no.
You know?
I will tell you, once they have signed it off, the producer is literally watching her clock because there won't be any more money.
Okay.
And they can't, and the client will suddenly get doubts and will be sitting there questioning the voice artist.
I've only ever
going,
done it once, I think. But
maybe that wasn't the right thing. And it's everyone else is wrapping up and getting their coats and like, so it's a big no-no.
So zip it.
Yeah.
I will
Thank you
zip
very much.
it.
So glad you liked
Mind
it.
you,
Thank
though,
very
they
much.
have gone. Do you think so? Do you want to do one more? Okay, let me do one more. Go
And
on,
if you haven't nailed it on that one more, your voice is in the balance at that point because they're all like, oh, was she right?
But then I go after I've done it. I've nailed that.
Yeah.
That's the one in the can. That's the one you
Fill everybody with confidence. But the best thing is to go into an hour session and be out in 10 minutes. So if they say, well done, I'm like, okay, great, thanks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, that's so true.
It's true.
Because sometimes you are in and out. Aren't
Yeah. Don't question it.
Yeah.
If they said, if it's fine to give suggestions, I think that's really, really good because they can get stuck and not really know where to go with it. But once they've said after
We love
anything,
that. I think we've got that.
yeah,
You go.
Yes. Thank you very much. I shall see you and my paycheck another day.
Love you, goodbye.
Yeah. Shopping and liberties. Thank
Yeah.
you. So yeah, I think that's brilliant. So I think I'm going to say thanks, guys, for joining me today.
Thank you,
Really
Steph.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that's it for the show. Hope you liked it, and if you did, please rate and review the show wherever you get your podcasts. It was presented by me, Steph Thompson, and produced by Mike Hanson for Pod People's Productions, and recorded by Sean Dios. And a special thanks to Jungle Studios in Soho for lending me their studio. See you next time.
Pod People.